So in this video, I will be doing the one and only image stabilization, telling you guys what it's all about, whether you have a Sony or a Nikon or a Canon. Image stabilization, optical steady shot, or vibration reduction is what will help you from making videos shaky. So if it's constantly shaking, you can't get the right shot, you can't get the proper video that you need. So I'm going to be using my Nikon Z50 on a gimbal to explain to you guys what exactly is image stabilization, and can the Nikon Z50 have its own vibration reduction system, and whether or not you can actually use it, what's it all about, should you even turn that option on. Stay tuned for this video. So just to clarify, the Nikon Z50 does not have in-body axis stabilization, so this means within the sensor there is no certain system that stabilizes the sensor from keeping it from shaking or having any sort of micro jitters. But the Nikon Z50 does have or support vibration reduction lenses, and all of the Nikon Z50s has, if you use the stock lens, the kit lens, whether that's the 16 to 50 or the 50 to 200, is that the Nikon Z50 supports VR lenses just like its predecessors and its DSLR cameras. So this kit lens, although it is a kit lens 16 to 50, it does support vibration reduction, which is in the lens. And yes, the Z50 does not have IBIS, but it does support image stabilization through the lens. So if you buy a lens with Nikon that has image stabilization, you can get that option turned on. So I'm going to show you guys right now. So how you simply turn on your vibration reduction here is you want to go into your camera right here. You press the I, and then you'll see on this right hand side here, the last two columns, what you'll have here is optical VR, optical meaning the lens. So you can turn that either off, turn that on, and you have sport mode, which is for sport, fast moving subjects. But for me personally, I've never used sport mode. I'm always on just normal for my vibration reduction. And what that does is it uses the motors of the lens to stabilize your video and photos, so there's less of that micro jittering like this. And what the Z50 does have as well is electronic VR. So what electronic VR does, I'm going to take off my lens cap here, is that it'll actually crop into your video. So although the lens itself is not, let's say, vibration reduction turn off, if you turn your electronic VR on, it actually crops in. So what it's doing is it's cropping into the sensor. So it takes the most steady parts and crops out the pretty much the outside border. It's essentially using warp stabilizer before you put on warp stabilizer, if you're familiar with Adobe Premiere. As you can see, if I just leave my vibration reduction on or on sport mode, nothing gets cropped in. But if I put on my electronic VR, it actually crops in. So now you're like, okay, that's cool, but what does it actually do? Well, it's been raining because I live in Vancouver, but I will be doing a 2-for-1, two birds with one stone, is that I'll be taking my Z50, showing you guys what it actually looks like with handheld. You turn on your vibration reduction, you got your sport mode and your electronic vibration reduction to see if that makes a difference. And I'll be also using all three in a combination of a gimbal, so you should be looking at the most smoothest shots possible. And as well, what I meant by two birds with one stone is that I'll also be doing a weather test because it's been raining for days, man. So stay tuned, watch till the end of this if you want to see all three of what it actually looks like and if the Nikon Z50 is capable of getting steady video. As you can see, it's raining a little bit more than I initially expected, but anything for the content, right? So I am cheating a bit, so I am using a gimbal And in my other hand, I have a umbrella. Right now, the whole point of this is I want you guys to see what the difference of all three modes will actually look like, as well as a little bit of a weather test. So first is I don't have anything turned on, so no vibration reduction, optical as well as electronic. So next is I'm going to be finding a spot to put this thing down, and then I'll be putting the camera on optical stabilization normal. So now I have optical stabilization turned on, still using the gimbal, and this is what it looks like walking down this straight path, holding it with one hand. And there are some pretty strong winds. So this is what image stabilization looks like with just optical VR turned on, relying on the optical VR within my lens. As I already said, is that the Z50 does not have IBIS, which is built into the camera body, so it doesn't matter what lens you use, there'll still be optical stabilization. But this guy doesn't have it. You're looking more at the full frame cameras. And now it's really windy, and that's my umbrella. Now guys, is I have optical stabilization on my lens, put to sport mode. Still, everything is normal as is, walking with my gimbal with sport mode turned on. And this is me just walking straight. And this is what it looks like with having optical stabilization with sport mode turned on. Optical stabilization in sport mode, and be strictly relying on electronic VR. I am only relying on electronic VR, so it did crop in a little bit, but since I am in 4K and if I film in a 1080p timeline, shouldn't be much of an issue. And I would only use this if it was in emergency situations. So just be wary that it does crop in, but as right now, I'm walking down some stairs. All my other optical lens stabilization is turned off, and this is what is just electronic VR. See these stairs here? And then for the next portion of this test is I shall be turning on optical stabilization, so the lens VR, as well as using it with combination with the electronic VR, going with the gimbal to seeing how that works, and that should be the most smoothest video. So now guys, I have both electronic VR as well as optical VR. Turned on my Nikon Z50. Here's some stairs. Turning around, walking down the stairs. See how that looks. So this is completely handheld with electronic VR, optical VR turned on. And I'm holding the camera with just one hand. Now this is one hand, the same thing, but with just optical VR. One hand, not really minding my business in terms of how steady it needs to be, just walking normally, with just having my optical VR turned on. And this is with everything turned completely off. No optical VR, no electronic VR. As you can see how shaky it is with the micro jitters. And that, guys, was my lens is all sorts of messed. So I'll let you know if this camera still works within the next couple days. But I'm certain that it is weather sealed, not necessarily waterproof. So just be careful with that. There is smudge. Turn on my focus here. Set this back. And that was my ghetto rig test of the one and only Nikon Z50 Image Stabilization on a rainy day. And this is what it actually looks like if I were to do a vlog test completely handheld, right? Walking down some stairs. And this is with electronic VR turned on, as well as optical VR as well. But if it comes to vlogging, I think you should be fine with just optical VR. You don't need to have that punch in. And it's freaking cold now. And this is my VR test. Definitely always turn it on if I were to use video with it. And if you want to learn more about video and video creation, my name is Peter. Thanks for watching Broke Visionary Collective. And let me turn this back to the normal mic. And make sure to grab all my camera guides, because I do this for y'all. And leave a comment below if you want what you want to see next for vlog content. You want to see how this baby holds up in the rain. Anything for the content, right? Make sure you grab all my resources. Link in the description if you want to get serial about video or learning your camera. And my name is Peter. You're watching Broke Visionary Collective, where we all start with nothing, but you can always have steady videos. Man, that's a lot of rain.